I'm here at day 3 of Conservative Party Conference in Manchester, where the Home Secretary Suella Braverman has really just been crowned the Queen of Conference by the Tory faithful and much of the Tory right. I'm going to talk you through Suella Braverman's very impactful and very memorable speech here at Tory Party Conference. She covered a lot of ground, used a lot of adjectives and a lot of fiery language. So what was it all about? Starting with a reference to her own family background, Suella said that her parents came to Britain on a gust of wind, but that gust of wind is nothing compared to the hurricane that is yet to come. Suella also took a lot of jabs at Keir Starmer, saying that under his leadership, if Labour makes it into number 10, there will be a huge influx of migrants, and that's something that the British people don't actually want. They want more controlled borders, they want to be careful about who they choose to come in, and they don't want a free-for-all coming from France, crossing the Channel and getting into Britain. Now, Suella Braverman hit out at critics who she says have luxury beliefs. She described luxury beliefs as someone who's very privileged, maybe has a lot of money and thinks it's okay if Britain opens its borders to whoever wants to come in because I've got enough money and I don't have to worry about everything. Now, Suella says hard-working families, people who are just trying to make ends meet and are just getting by, don't want to see jobs taken by people coming from overseas and don't want to see resources swallowed up by, say, illegal migrants who arrive on small boats and are being placed in 4- and 5-star hotels. Suella said you can either curb woke with Rishi Sunak or you can go for Keir take the knee Starmer. So there was a lot of hits at Labour, but also a lot of promises to really toughen up the Tory party's stance on migration, because let's not forget, they've been in power for the last 13 years when so much of the small boat crisis has taken place. Suella Braverman promised to do whatever it takes to stop the boats. She said that under Shadow Home Secretary Yvette Cooper, it would be a complete free-for-all. Labour has no intention of stopping the boats and they're ready for immigration to increase on a mass scale. So there was a lot of jabs at Keir Starmer. There was some backing for Rishi Sunak and what his government is doing, despite the fact that there are rumours swirling from people in high places that Suella might have her eye on the top job herself should things go wrong for the Prime Minister. Now, Suella's speech was really interesting, really because of the reception it got. A lot of the party faithful were really taken by her words. They really believed in it. And she had a really big and strong standing ovation at the end of her speech that contrasted with the much more muted response to Chancellor Jeremy Hunt's speech yesterday. Alongside discussing woke issues and discussing the issues of small boats and even mass legal migration, Suella also had a pop at trans issues and how they're affecting policing. So she made a promise. She said that under her watch, no prisoner, no one who is convicted of a serious sexual offence or a murder will be able to change their gender or change their identity as a way to be treated perhaps more nicely than they otherwise would. So she's launched a huge crackdown on the issue of prisoners changing gender alongside small boats as well. Day 4 of Tory Conference is arguably the biggest day of all because it's when the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, has a make or break opportunity to pitch himself and his vision for Britain to the public. Now, all eyes are going to be on this speech, particularly given that the Tories aren't doing too well in the polls. They're currently around 10 points behind Labour, and really, they don't have long to catch up. There's only around a year, maybe a bit more, until a showdown general election has to take place. So this speech for Rishi Sunak tomorrow is a huge deal. If the public don't buy it, if his MPs don't buy it, if party members don't buy it, his future's not looking too great. So he really needs to take this opportunity to say, this is who I am, this is what I believe in, these are my policies, and this is why you should vote for me and keep Sir Keir Starmer and the Labour Party out of number 10. So the atmosphere at Tory Party Conference has calmed down slightly from the heightened drama surrounding HS2 that all kicked off yesterday. It is feeling a bit more assured as to what's going to happen now that we know Rishi Sunak will effectively say in his speech the Manchester leg of HS2 is going to be scrapped, and around £30 billion that it would have cost to build it will instead be invested in rail infrastructure between northern towns and in the Midlands, so say between Liverpool, Leeds and Manchester. So the drama around HS2 has calmed down a bit, but it then sort of was raised again as Suella took to the stage and gave her really punchy speech, which will be seen by many as a pitch to party members to perhaps be the next Tory leader.